Hi everyone, welcome to another little video which is replacing our face-to-face workshop of Workshop 2, Working Effectively with Your Child's School. We're looking at applying knowledge and skills, which is a small part of the overall workshop. My name is Fiona Moore, I work for CREW and I'm a part of the Families for Inclusive Education project. In this section, we're looking at applying the knowledge and skills to work for our own child's inclusion. We're looking at the conversations, planning conversations, and making sure we have an understanding of the visions and the goals we want to achieve. So what I'd like you to do is have a think about the previous videos you've watched or the previous information you've gained about the vision you have for your child and the goals that you want to achieve. In this little series, we'll have a look at conversations and we'll do a chance to have a bit of a self-reflection. So initially, when we're setting goals to work effectively with our child's school, we want to make sure we look at the vision, the strategy, and the plan. You need to focus on a small number of things you want to change. You're not going to be able to change everything at once, so just think about the things that are important. Use your vision to prioritize and clarify. You are a role model here, so think about how you can reframe or redirect when you hear problematic comments. Think strategically about who you can make changes, how you can make changes, and how they may be open to your messages. Take your time to plan rather than being reactive most of the time. Draw upon a support network to plan. And know you can't influence everything, but you can contribute to building a positive school culture. You need to find support and allies within the school and outside of the school for your child. When you are planning to go to the school and have a meeting, you need to think about what your conversation is going to be like. So in the next slide, we're looking at how we do plan those more effective conversations. When you plan effective conversations, it's valuable to think about the who, what, where, when, why, and how. You want to have influence in a change and know what that change is that you would like to see for your child's experience. So when you're having this conversation, who are the main stakeholders? Who do you want to be talking to? Is it the teaching staff or the specialists or your own support person? Or is it the child? Who do you want at the meeting? What are the key elements you want to discuss? What are the changes you want to see for your child's school experience? Where will the conversation take place? Is it going to be face-to-face, in person, or do you like it on the phone? And when? When should you have the conversation? What time of the day? What day of the week? What part of the school term? What's going to work for you to have the most effective conversation? And why? Why do you need this conversation? What are the key elements of the conversation? What is important? And then finally the how. How will you approach this conversation? How will you draw on your vision to try to influence this change in your child's education experience? What are you going to do to take the first steps needed to go back, to plan your conversation? It's important you take that time to plan and think about the supports around you and the ways what you want to influence with that conversation. And our final slide for this section is looking at that conversation in a way that it has to be positive. We need a positive vision. So we need to think about possible changes. What do you want to see change for your child at the school? You need to have that vision clearly outlined in our mind and written down and understood. Which goals are most important to you? Prioritize the key issues. How will you use your vision to influence that change? What I'd like you to do is go to workbook page 4 and you'll see these questions set out and use those in your workbook to help you self-reflect. It's never too early to jot down your ideas of a conversation you may want to have. Even if this is going to have a less desirable outcome initially, by planning that conversation, you'll be able to put it into a positive story, and in that way the teachers will be far more engaged, or whoever the stakeholders are with that conversation, to ensure that they can be a part of the change that you're looking for your child. So just to finish up, as I've said before, there are many resources available on the CREW website in the Families for Inclusive Education project folder. We also provide one-on-one consultations, so please contact us. There's quite a few, there's 4 consultants available, and we each bring different expertise. Our phone number and email is there. And finally, I'd like to thank the Department of Education for funding the Families for Inclusive Education project, and of course the wonderful resources we've been able to develop here at CREW. Thanks very much.